All right. It's like a TV production or something. Over there is Bill, who's helping with Zoom, and here's Kira, who's going to run the microphone around while we do stuff. So it's really, really good to have you all here. I'd like to thank all the folks who brought in food today. There's some very nice food. Please help yourself to the food. We hate taking food home. We love it when you take food home, or better yet, eat it here with your friends. That's what it's for. So we hope you will do that. Also, I want to thank all the folks that helped with the setup. And I really want to thank everybody who's been at the office through the last couple of weeks. It's just been really, really busy here in a great way. And it's just so much fun and so encouraging and even inspiring to see all y'all doing all these different things, all working for the same great cause. So again, thank you all. Okay, well, we're going to do an icebreaker now, and we've already warned the people online about this, but we're going to ask here too. The question is, what do you do to stay calm during this election? Okay, what are you doing so that you can deal with all the craziness? And please wait for the microphone, and we've got first one right here is Colin.
I turn it all off and listen to NPR, nice peaceful music.
Okay, who's got an answer? Who does it? There's yeah, Ann over in the corner in the big chair. All right, Ann.
I try to spread joy, joy, joy.
All right, great idea. All right, here's
I
Sue.
go for a hike in our national parks or some of our conservancy lands.
Okay, great, cool. We've got a few online ones here.
Okay, Chris said, I go to any nearby lake to be calm. And Christy Trigg, I find all the Harris Waltz signage around the county. It's very buoying. Here's another one. My faith in God and my faith in the majority of the American people. That was from Reverend Steve.
All right.
Be out in nature as much as possible from Deanne Lull. Spend time with good friends.
Okay. Great.
I talk local politics.
That's a great idea. Who else we got? One or two more? Okay, we'll call it good then. Oh, all right. Well, we want to hear from Pete.
I watch all the political comedy shows because we have to laugh.
Good one.
Okay, great. So that's the icebreaker. Okay, I got a couple things I'd like to say to us all. I want to tell you, first of all, as kind of alluded to earlier, we are in overdrive now. We really, really are. Most of the people that are pretty hooked up with the party over the months are kind of like living here. And we're doing all these different things. We're mailing out postcards. We're putting up signs. We're having Wednesday night Zoom sessions with Women for Harris thing. We're keeping the office open 6 days a week, 10 to 4. That's new, by the way. Saturday mornings are open. We're passing 10 to 4 on Saturdays like the rest of the week. We're passing out yard signs like crazy. We are canvassing a lot. We are starting to do some phone banking too. People are involved in many, many different ways. And I just have to say to all of you, we need your help. We need your help. You see a lot of enthusiasm out there. You see a lot of joy out there. You see a lot of people marveling at what a great candidate Kamala Harris is and what a great candidate Tim Walz is, how they inspire people, how 15,000 people show up in for their events. It's, you know, wherever they go, it's really, really remarkable. But that enthusiasm really has to be turned into real votes. All the enthusiasm is for naught if we don't get our people and the friends of our people to the polls. And as Michelle said, as Kamala said, as Mike said, I'm sorry, as Tim said, as people around here say, please, please do something. Do something. What we really need and what really makes the most difference by far is going door to door. It's not even close. Phone calling really, really helps as well. And that's Robbie back there making some noise. We're going to hear from him in a minute. I mean, this is a great office, folks. We've got a field organizer here, which is unusual for where we are. And so it's a real beehive of activity. And Robbie's working these incredible hours, getting people organized to go out and talk to folks or get on the phone and talk to folks. It's really quite extraordinary. And we'll hear from him in just a few minutes. Hey, if you haven't checked out our billboard, check out our billboard. Have you seen it? Who's seen the billboard? All right. Yeah. Yeah. It will be up until a week after the election. Okay. Just in case somebody wants to vote late and start some trouble. Right. Okay. It is on US 31. It's on the east side of Honor, facing east on the, I guess that would be the south side of the highway. If you're driving back from Traverse City coming into Honor, it's on the left just before JoJo's, right in there. Which isn't JoJo's anymore. What is it? Mudgee's. Oh boy, that makes me thirsty for ice cream. Yeah, yeah, okay. Okay, listen, on all your seats there are slates and Project 2025 cards. Please take them home. Please look at them and learn from them. There's a lot of great information on both of them. We're sending these out by mail to 400 or 500 people that we've targeted. And we are going to be handing them out here at the office. It's okay to take them and give them to friends. We hope you will do that. And here's the big deal, and please listen up. Next Saturday, we're doing our very first Benzie blue bag drop. We've got a bunch of cool little blue bags. We're going to put these in them and some cool little trinkets and candies and things, and we're going to hand deliver them to about 300 or 400 doors around the county to people who we think probably need just a little. They're friendly to us. They like what we do. They just need a little push to send in their ballots. So we're getting to people's homes just as they're getting their mail-in ballots, okay? Pretty much the same day. We need 30 or 40 people to do this because there's 300 or 400 bags to deliver, and we don't want to give people 50 bags. We'd rather give them 15 or 20 and a very concentrated turf to deliver. And so please, next Saturday, we need you here at 10 o'clock to do this. It's so important, okay? So that's it on that. And Robbie, if you would come up to the table and we can get a canvassing and other activist update from you on what's going on here.
You need a microphone.
Why don't you wait until he talks? Thank you. Great. Have a seat, Robbie. Got to get on camera. Hey, buddy. This is Robbie Bowen. Please give him a warm round of applause.
Well, thank you, Jim. Can everyone hear me? Yep. I just wanted to start by saying, following up on what Jim was saying a couple of minutes ago, that the most impactful way we can affect voter behavior is by direct voter contact, and the more passive that contact becomes, the less impactful it is. I only deal with direct voter contact. My mother, like a lot of people's mothers, said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Therefore, I'm not going to say anything about yard signs and postcards. Like I said, what I do is direct voter contact. I recruit door knockers and I recruit phone bankers. I was speaking to a woman just recently when I was making a recruitment call, and she had signed up to knock doors, but then she told me, "Oh, I read somewhere that postcards are more effective than knocking doors." And I said, "Well, that contradicts mountains of data collected over decades." I said, as a matter of fact, just before I came here to Michigan from Omaha, I probably should have let off with that. I'm here working on the campaign, but just before I came here, I read an article by the Harvard Kennedy School of Government, talking about this very thing, ranking effectiveness of various forms of campaign activities. And again, this showed exactly what the data has showed for decades, that the more direct voter contact is, the more impactful it is, and the more passive, the less direct it is, the less effective it is. And she's like, well, I read it in a really good article. I said, well, please tell me what your article was, because, if this is something that contradicts, like I said, mountains of data, I'd like to see what it is. And she just, well, I forget the name of it, but I read it yesterday on the internet. And I just said, well, are you near your computer right now? I said, can you look at your browser history? I'd like to, and she's like, well, yeah, I guess I can pull it up here. And she's like, but yeah, it said, and I'm not talking about mailers. I'm talking about handwritten postcards. I'm like, I know what you're talking about. It's things that we use to try to get people in the door to do more important things. Yeah. Well, I'm getting to that. If if you don't mind, basically I just said, it's so much easier to recruit for basically low bar asks, that if there really was evidence that was more effective. But anyway, I can see this guy is. I am going to be passing around a sheet here in a minute that has all of our final 8 weekends of activity. I'd really like more people to sign up for that. Like I said, I'll pass this around. And Jim, can I tell one more story?
Not if it's negative about people.
Okay, no. It's not. We onboarded 100 new organizers in Detroit this week. I just got back from that yesterday, and this is my fourth campaign cycle. And as one of the gray hairs in the room, they asked me to tell the new organizers how do I handle objections when I'm making a recruiting pitch. And I just said, well, feel free to use me as a cautionary tale. I hear a lot of people say, never forget 9/11. I'll also never forget 11/9, November 9th, 2016. It was one of the worst days of my life. And I'm constantly thinking about the sick feeling I had on that day, that I could have and should have done more. And I said, so tell your people when you're out there making recruiting pitches, feel free to use me as a cautionary tale. Get involved while you still can, before you turn into me, and before you spend the next decade chasing a ghost. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Robbie. Okay, so that's going around, and please sign up if you can. We really need people for next weekend. You'll be walking up to a door and hanging something on a doorknob. People will mostly be happy to see you, I predict. Great. Okay, next up here, we're going to turn to talk about election challengers. And who, me? Yeah, okay. Next up, we will have Marcia Curran. She's going to talk to us about election challengers. Marcia, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, great. Thank you. Go ahead, please.
Ready to go. Yes, we need a lot of election challengers. Poll challengers are only working on the day of the election. And by then, all the door knocking is done and so on. So there should be plenty of people ready to volunteer to do this. On Thursday, I sent a message seeking responses from the people who got it. There were 50 on the list, and I've only heard back from 3. So I don't know what happened, whether it ended up in somebody's junk file. I hope everybody who's been a volunteer, if they're on this program, that they will check their junk mail for September 19, because they might have gotten a message from me seeking their help with poll challenging. Poll challenging is a wonderful way to see, for the Democratic Party to put another set of eyes on what's going on in the poll area, in the polls. And we're going to have, we're going to need about 50 people, so I do need a bunch of people to sign up. There will be a 30-minute video that is available through the State Democratic Party for training. It's interesting work. You see the whole process of the election. Our shifts will be probably 5 to 6 hours, and you can tell me where you'd like to work and what part of the day is going to be good for you. In any case, my information, contact information is in the chat. If you call me or send me an email, I will get back to you. So Jana Goldman and I are doing this. She's away right now, so I'm handling this part of it. And I look forward to hearing back from a lot of people. We need a lot of support. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. Will you please put your contact information in the chat?
It
So-
is.
Oh, great. Okay, well,
It's
shut
in
my
there.
mouth then. Okay. She's way ahead of me, just like everybody else. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Marcia. And let's thank Marcia. She's done so much work for the party over the years, stuff like this. Marcia's a hero. She's a hero.
Oh, you're sweet. Thank you.
Okay, next up here, we've been doing this rather interesting thing on Wednesday night. It's called Wednesday Women for Harris. And here's one of the key instigators to talk to you about it. Please say hello to Kira Duvernoy.
Really, I'm just a surrogate here for Rachel Roberts, who's one of our new members, and this was her impetus to help gather people here at headquarters on Wednesday night to watch a webinar or that's put on by Indivisible, and they have speakers for an hour every Wednesday night from 8:30 to 9:30. Fabulous speakers. I think Beto O'Rourke is going to be here next week. He was,
Who was there last week? Mark.
oh, Mark Hamill was there last week. He doesn't look like Luke anymore. And that's just, those are just some of the people who are there, all very inspiring people who help us understand the best way to talk to people about our choices and the election, and give us things that we could possibly do. But it's really fun just to come together. And one of our members, one of the people who comes to that evening event had this sign made for us. Can you see it?
You probably can't read it online. I don't know. Does it show up? Yeah.
So it says, "We must be a nation that trusts women." And so that was really fun. She had purchased those and brought them into the office, and they are here for anybody who wants one. But it's a nice camaraderie on Wednesday night, and it's not just for women. It's for women and their allies, which is anybody who likes women anyway. So thank you.
Thank you, Kira. Okay. The question
After-
was, is there a way to watch them after, because it was recorded?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll look into it. All right. Thank you, Kira. Warm round of applause for Kira. Oh, okay, great.
No.
Okay, for those of you who want to respond to Marcia who are here in the room, you can respond by calling her at 231-352-4159. 231-352-4159. That's to be a poll challenger. And her email is Curran space Marcia, and it's C-U-R-R-A-N, Curran space Marcia with a C, M-A-R-C-I-A, Curran space Marcia at hotmail.com. Who remembers
It's Curran _
underscore?
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Yeah. It's up here if you want to get it after the meeting. Thank you, Tom. Okay. And thank you again, Marcia, for all your work. We're thanking everybody. Everybody's working so hard. It's just such a inspiring thing to see. Okay, next up, this is kind of like a candidate roundup here for some local people. I'll tell you that Betsy Coffia is in the house and Cathy Albro is in the house. They'll both be speaking to us. But we're going to start off with Judge John Mead, who's running for re-election. Come on up to the table here. And he'll tell us a little bit about himself, but I'll tell you first that he's got a degree in criminal justice, also in public administration and agricultural law. I didn't know there was such a thing. He worked as a law enforcement officer in Frankfort and in Benzie County, and then he was appointed as family division referee and then as district court attorney magistrate in 2012. At the end of that year, he was elected as Benzie's probate judge, and he's been there for 12 years now, and he's running for his third term in that position. Go ahead, John Mead, Judge Mead. Thank you.
Took a lot of my thunder away.
Well, you know, cut to the chase, buddy.
That microphone will not amplify your voice. That
Yeah,
just
so
goes
you're,
here.
that's just.
Okay.
to
Keep the
Zoom.
microphone close to your mouth.
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay. As Jim just said, I'm a lifelong resident here. I've been serving this community since 1991. I gotta tell you, last week with the Ironman, if you don't have pride in Benzie County, you need to have pride, because what we saw last weekend was phenomenal. In 4 years of Ironman, we have had exactly 0 arrests with all the people in town. Many of you know me from outside of work. Some of you know me inside work. Some of you were teachers when I was back in the day. I run 3 courts right now. My elected job is probate judge, but I'm also assigned district court duties, 100% Benzie County. I'm additionally taking on 90% of the family division of circuit court. Just in probate and district courts, from March of 15 to January of 18 to this year, I've handled 6,451 cases. That does not include family division. I'm now handling a regular caseload in probate and district courts in Manistee County. The new judge down there, who was appointed by the governor, his stepfather is one of only 2 retained attorneys in Manistee. So this is a long-term assignment, if you will. As to, I'm nonpartisan, but I need to make this clear right now. Actions speak louder than words. I had to make an appointment for the Headley Committee. My appointment was Mandy Gray Rainier, a Democrat out of Elmira Township. I've been questioned about that, and I said, I don't care about party. She was the best person for it, and she was willing to take it, and she did a great job. I've always been fiscally responsible. In fact, when I took over as chief judge back in 2015, I made several cuts. I merged my staff so that if you need district and probate, you're only going to one office. You're not running around the building looking like a chicken with your head cut off. So public service, my staff, I've got top-notch staff. I can't say anything better about them. But I look forward to continuing to serve as your probate judge, and thank you very much. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, John. Would somebody like to ask a question or two? We got time for a question or two.
I just got a quick question. I've noticed several times driving through Benzie that your vehicle with your campaign is parked at the courthouse. Is that appropriate?
It's allowable.
It's allowable? Okay. Just, we got to hold everybody accountable. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm just asking.
Any question from online anywhere? Great. I have one question for you. What do you think happened in November of 2020? Was that a fair and square election?
It was fair.
So you think Joe Biden actually won the election?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. Just wanted to check that. I think that's a real fair question to ask folks. Okay. Do you have a? Oh, yes, you
Oh,
do.
I do, sorry.
Yes, you do.
So, my husband and I know John to be a very honest man, and we truly, truly appreciate him for who he is and what he does. He never announced that he was in any kind of judgeship or anything, and he wandered into the church and started doing dishes and then left before anybody could question him. Norm and I were just new here. We really took that the help. And we've known John for a number of years. You're a very honest man. We're really happy to have you as a judge.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, John Mead, Judge Mead. Thank you very much. Okay, and to avoid having this seem like a debate or something, we're going to now switch to the House elections, and Cathy Albro is going to come up here and talk to us for a little bit. Most of us know Cathy. She's worked very, very hard on rural politics for a long time. She's very much wants to build community, rebuild community within the rural political landscape and try to overcome the crazy division that's going on everywhere, including in Benzie County. And she's run for office a couple different times, always the David against the Goliath. And she's doing that again now, running against John Roth for the 104th district. So Cathy Albro, let's welcome her. Have a seat.
I stand. Is this okay? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I prefer to stand, but that's okay. I'll kind of kneel. All right. Thank you so much for welcoming me here. I know most of you. I've ran last time in 22 as a Democrat for the same seat. I got 37% of the vote from the whole district, which is 6 counties or parts of 6 counties. Benzie, most of Benzie, except for 2 townships that Betsy has, would be in the 104th district where I'm running. So I just want to catch you up on the campaign that we have now. In the last 2 years since I ran before, and I talked with you in March. I was a speaker here in March, if you were here or on Zoom, about what we were doing in Gladwin County with bringing the community together in a nonpartisan way and solving some of the problems and the issues that had been not dealt with for a long time, and they're still making great progress on childcare and housing and the internet services and all of that, just because we brought the community together and people work together. Mostly it's a red county, and it's just amazing how that worked. So I thought if I were to run again, I would only run as an independent because I could see the benefit in taking the politics out of working together. And so I waited for someone to run, and Larry Knight filed on the last day as a Democrat, and he filed to make sure that there wasn't a blank line on the ballot in the Democratic section. So then I decided that I couldn't let John, he wasn't campaigning. He isn't raising money. No one knows how to get in touch with him, basically. So he doesn't show up. And he made that clear with the Michigan Democratic Party when he filed that he wasn't going to work for it. But I thought that John Roth needed an opponent. So I decided to get 600 plus signatures in June and July to get on the ballot. I wasn't in the primary, but I will be on the November ballot. And there's actually 4 of us on the November ballot. We're going to be putting out this flyer, and I'll be giving them to Jane. And I really thank Jane and Mary for their help in getting this campaign going in Benzie County. I know Benzie, we did pretty well compared to the other counties last time, and I'm hoping maybe we can get more than 50% here. But it's going to take some work because people don't know not to vote for the Democrat. I mean, a lot of people that aren't aware will probably just do a straight ticket vote, and then Larry Knight will be elected. I mean, he won't make it, but he'll get the vote, and then I won't get the vote. So what we need to do, for the only time I can ever remember, I'm telling people not to vote for the Democrat, and please consider voting for me. So we're going to be sending out and putting in the packets that are going door to door this new flyer, and it compares John Roth with me and Larry Knight. Larry Knight's column just says no show, no show, no show. But just to give you a couple things that are different between John Roth and me, he accepts undisclosed PAC money, political bribery, works for a political party. I accept money only from small donors. I have a $100 limit on what I'm asking people to donate. I'm hoping to get lots of small donors because I believe that that in political bribery and campaign finance reform. So I want to walk the talk. Also a biggie is that he's endorsed by the DeVos group. If the Republicans get in the majority again, they will be pro-social voucher or school voucher, I mean, which really hurts our public schools. So just childcare, when you go to some of his coffees and you listen to him, his whole thing is, well, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know what to do about it. But I do know there are tons of things we can be doing. And so as an independent, I feel like I have that leverage that I don't have to say, well, I'm a Democrat, so I can't do what the Republicans want, or I'm a Republican, can't do what the Democrats want, which is what the game has been over the last at least 20 years, that neither party can get things done because they don't work together. So who knows? I mean, this is just like a research study to me to see if this will work. But we're working our butts off, although I'm not losing any inches. I'm riding a lot in the car. But we have a lot going on. And Jane is going to talk to you a little bit. One of the things we want to do is involve more young people that don't attend stuff like this. And so we're going to have a service worker appreciation picnic in about a week. So do you want to talk about it for a minute? Sure. Okay. Yeah. Oh, and you can talk to me. Oh, I do.
Say hello to Jane Wild.
So hello, the Service Workers Appreciation Picnic is going to be at Benzonia Memorial Pavilion on Monday, September 30th from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock. We're going to be running around wild, dropping off invitations for folks. Hopefully they will come. There's going to be some good food. And I hear we've got a real good grill meister volunteer on the Zoom. Thank you. Yeah, we're just trying to reach out to people this is their future. You know, we're a crowd of older folks. And I will do that. Because there's no party behind Cathy as an independent, this is about as grassroots as I can imagine. And it's really word of mouth. And so far, every single person I've spoken to about Cathy is super psyched. So we can do this.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jane. Cathy, do you want to say anything else? Okay, great.
About voting straight ticket.
We'll talk.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So yes, that is possible. You're going to talk about that. So thank you so much for having me included on your endorsement list. I really appreciate it. The Antrim Dems have also endorsed me, and they had this, if you get the Northern Express, this in the restaurant issue, they have Kamala's pop-up restaurant, if you want to pass it around. It's so cool, and I'm on that too. So, I mean, that gets spread out everywhere. And Betsy, but they have the wrong district for you, but everybody knows what district you're in. So, I mean, we're going to win this in multiple like 100 different ways, and getting people excited is the best way. So one more thing. Oh, the service worker, give that to somebody, a service worker, give that invitation out. Like if you're at a restaurant, a grocery store, you know, wherever somebody's waiting on you, they're usually low wage, low compensation people, and they need our support. So hand them that invitation. We have more that you can pick up and give out. So we have a good group there. And it's a drop-in, so they don't have to stay the whole time. So October 9th, I wanted to tell you, we're going to have a Zoom. And this could be something that you do prior to your Women for Harris thing that you do here, Kira. It's going to be 7 to 8 on Zoom, and it's called What Does Reproductive Freedom Mean? Dr. Michael Hertz, who you know will be there answering questions and giving some updates about all this stuff about late-term abortion and after-birth abortion. And maybe you know Jeananne Brownwell, who is, that Kira introduced me to, Michigan Fertility Alliance she's with. And they were very instrumental in the Michigan Family Protection Act that passed last spring for IVF and surrogacy, legalization of surrogacy, paid surrogacy too. And that comes into effect, that law, on March 25th. So that night might be a great introduction to the Women for Harris meeting. And we'll be putting this out all over Michigan about this Zoom. So it'll be very informative. I just want to thank everybody who's helping me in even the small ways. Every little bit helps. We have little cards you can pass out to people that you meet on the street. Social media, please help me. I have a Facebook page, repost. And Anne is helping me with calls, and Mary, and Carol, and Jean Ann. I really appreciate all that help because they're also helping me call counties where I can't find volunteers so much. So like Kalkaska County, that's a hard one. So thank you so much, everybody, and I'm sure I'll see you many more times.
Cathy, thank you so much. Yeah, great. Okay, great. So we want to talk about. She is in the ballot in Platte. Yes, she is. Yeah, she's in every, no, I'm sorry, every township except Elmira and Platte. Those are, Elmira and Platte are Betsy's, not in Platte. Okay, but the rest of the county. Okay, okay, I wanted to talk just a little bit. About straight ticket voting, because there's a lot of confusion about it. We talked about this at our last meeting. Kyra Bolden explained it really, really well, because she's a Supreme Court judge candidate. And if you pull the straight ticket, it doesn't touch her. So here's the thing to understand about voting straight ticket Democrat. If you vote straight ticket Democrat on this ballot, and you also want to vote for somebody like Cathy or the independent slate that's running out in Inland, vote straight ticket up at the top, go down to where you want to put those other votes, vote for that. And you're done. That's it. The ballot still counts. The Democrats will still get your straight ticket for everything except where you went and voted for the independent or the Republican. That's how it works. People are confused because we all just went through a primary, and a primary, you cannot do that. You have to vote just on the Dem side or just on the Republican side. That's the only, if you do anything else, they throw out your ballot, okay? For this, vote straight ticket at the top. Please do that. Please do that. And then if you want to vote for, say, Cathy or say the Inland Independent ticket, go down to their part on the ballot and mark them, and they'll get your vote, and then go all the way down the ballot to the judges, Supreme Court, and vote for the Supreme Court judges. Or if you want to vote for John Mead or David Egeler, you have to do it that way. You have to go down to their line and vote on it, okay? And that still works even though you vote straight ticket, okay? I hope that's clear. Now, next up here, we're going to hear from another one of the independent nonpartisan candidates. And I can tell you this about David. He passed the bar exam in 2018. He's worked a varied career since then. This is quite interesting. He's been a sales manager, a judicial extern, an independent contractor, a web designer, an attorney, and most recently, he's become assistant prosecutor for the Benzie County Prosecution Office. So he and John Mead see each other a lot, right? You're really used to being in the same room together, right? Okay, so come on up here and talk to us. Please welcome David Egeler.
Thank
There you
you.
go.
So usually I don't read from a script, but today I feel like it's pretty important to make sure that my message is clear. And usually I stand and like to move around a lot, so this is different for me. No, that's okay. All right, so first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Benzie County Democrats for giving me the opportunity to speak this morning. I would also like to thank everyone that's on Zoom and everywhere else that's here for taking the time out of their schedule to be here today. If you don't already know who I am, my name is David C. Egeler. You've probably seen some of my signs, and, and I'm honored to sit before you as a candidate for probate judge. This community is not just a place on the map for me. It's my home, it's my roots, and my future. So who am I? I was raised right here in Benzie County. I attended Platte River Elementary just down the road from here and graduated from Benzie Central High School in 2002. Growing up in this community, it shaped who I am today. After high school, I pursued higher education at Grand Valley State University, where I earned my bachelor's degree. I then went to earn my law degree from Thomas M. Cooley Law School in Lansing. My journey has taken me to places like Denver, Colorado, Metro Detroit, and Grand Rapids, broadening my horizons and enriching my experiences. But no matter where I've been, Benzie County has always called me back. This is where my heart is, and this is where I want to make a difference. But life hasn't always been easy for me. I faced numerous challenges, and truth be told, I've failed many times. But each time I failed, I've picked myself up, realigned my path, and kept driving towards my goals. I'm a product of a divorced family, and so I grew up with a single mother who had at times to work 3 jobs to support us. From an early age, I understood the values in hard work and perseverance. I started working construction the summer after 4th grade, and I've kept working ever since. I'm proud to say that I'm the first person in my family to go to college, let alone law school. This was no small feat and required determination and resilience. I've also had to battle alongside with family members who struggle with mental illness and substance abuse. I know how dark the world can seem during those times, and those experiences have fueled my passion for helping others navigate their own struggles. Professionally, I've dedicated my legal career to serve individuals and families across a wide spectrum of legal areas: divorce, child custody, criminal defense, estate planning, driver's license restoration, and I even dabbled in some of the workman's compensation law. Through these experiences, I've had the privilege of helping people navigate some of the most challenging times in their lives. Currently, I serve as the assistant prosecutor here at in Benzie County, where I handle all the neglect and abuse cases, juvenile matters, and probate issues such as mental health petitions, guardianships, and conservatorships. I also prosecute both misdemeanors and felony cases. I've worked in nearly every area that the probate judge oversees, giving me a comprehensive understanding of the responsibilities and challenges of this vital role. For example, in my work with mental health petitions, I've seen firsthand the struggles that individuals and families face when dealing with mental illness. I've worked to ensure that those who need help receive it, while also protecting the rights of all involved. But my commitment to our community goes beyond the courtroom. I've had the pleasure of coaching middle and high school wrestling, working with our young people to develop not just the athletic skills, but the life skills, discipline, teamwork, and perseverance. For the last 2 years, I've been opening the high school weight room at 6 a.m. for anyone eager to work out. It's been inspiring to see the students show up bright and early, ready to put in the hard work. I'm incredibly proud to share that the Benzie Central Wrestling team has made it to the state team finals for for 2 years in a row, a first in school history. Yeah, you can clap to that. Seeing these young people grow, persevere, and achieve what was once thought impossible is truly inspiring. Their dedication and teamwork reflects the very spirit of our community. On a personal note, I'm a proud parent of 14-month-old daughter, Amelia, and thanks for being patient. Like any parent, I want to ensure that our community is a safe, nurturing place where all of our children can thrive. Amelia is my daily inspiration to work timelessly toward a better future, not just for her, but for all the children of Benzie County. So why am I running for probate judge? One of my key initiatives is to bring sobriety court back to Benzie County. For those who may not be familiar, sobriety court is a specialized program that provides intensive supervision and support for individuals convicted of alcohol-related offenses. By focusing on treatment and rehabilitation rather than punishment, sobriety court has proven to reduce recidivism and help participants regain control of their lives. By reinstating the program locally, we can provide much needed support to those struggling with addiction without the burden of traveling long distances. It's about making resources accessible so our community members can rebuild their lives right here at home. I've seen the devastating impact that addiction can have on individuals, families, and I believe we have a responsibility to offer support and second chances. My ultimate goal is to restore confidence in our court system and make everyone feel safe and served in our community. I believe we achieve this by communicating openly and connecting with one another, by bringing more resources to Benzie County and educating people about what's available. We can empower our residents and strengthen our community bonds. I recognize that meaningful change doesn't happen by simply asking the smartest person in the room for the answer. It requires all of us to work together, pooling our ideas, efforts, and passions. One of my strongest qualities is my ability to bring people together to foster collaboration that leads to real, lasting improvements. For example, my work as a coach, I've seen how bringing together individuals from diverse backgrounds and helping them work towards a common goal can lead to extraordinary results. In the legal field, I've collaborated with social workers, counselors, and community organizers to find solutions that serve the best interest of all parties. The challenges we face as a community are not insurmountable. I've faced challenges my entire life, growing up in a single-parent household, working from a young age, being the first in my family to pursue higher education, and supporting loved ones through mental health and substance abuse struggles. Each obstacle has strengthened my resolve and commitment to making a positive impact. My goal is simple yet profound: to make a better Benzie County for everyone. I believe that by working together, we can put our community on the right track towards a bright future. So in conclusion, regardless of the election's outcome, I'm here to stay. I will continue doing everything I can to make Benzie County the best it can be. Whether I'm elected or not, my commitment to Benzie County remains unwavering. I will continue to serve, to listen, and to work alongside all of you to address the challenges we face. So I want to thank you for your time, your consideration, and sharing the vision of a brighter future for our community. Together we can make a difference. Thank you.
We got time for one or two very quick questions. Okay, we got an online question. Go ahead, Tom.
This relates kind of to what you already said. This is a question from Reverend Steve Thompson. Why is there no drug court in Benzie County?
The quick answer to that is there technically is a drug court for substances like meth addiction, things like that, but that's through the circuit. There is a sobriety court down in Manistee and we once had, under Judge Kita, a sobriety court for alcohol in Benzie County, but it moved down to Manistee, and I'd like to bring it back so our people don't have to go all the way to Manistee and make it a difficult challenge for them. So So there kind of is, but you have to go to Manistee for it.
Colin, shout it out.
What does being a probate judge have to do with bringing that court here?
So in Benzie County, it's unique because probate is the district judge. And so you kind of work a twofold. So under the district court generally is where you would get that sobriety court. And since we don't have a district court in Benzie County, the probate judge is the one that brings that or makes it or facilitates it. So that's why the probate judge would have to do that. All right.
One more online question.
Cindy Shapiro was asking, if Project 2025 is implemented, what impact via funding and possibly other ways will it have on Benzie courts, sobriety court, and probate court?
A negative one? Yeah, and who knows? With sobriety court, hopefully we can get the grants back to refund it here in Benzie County, and that's generally through the state, or we'll even look into federal grants if we can. So, and that's the best answer I have for that. So, yeah. And I'd also just want to agree with Judge Mead that his staff is amazing, and Mandy Gray is great. So, thank you guys.
Okay, great. Thank you, David. Thank you very much. All right. And again, if you want to vote for David, or if you want to vote for John, mark the straight Democrat ticket, then go down and mark their ballot. Mike, very
quick question on that. Does the top of the ballot where it indicates you're voting the straight ticket,
Yes.
does it remind you that there are independent or nonpartisan candidates?
No, you have to look. You have to look down. You need to look through that whole ballot. It's on you to do that. We have all the information like that on this slate here, which we hope you'll take home, which we're going to send out digitally and all of that. But no, there's not a lot of guidance other than vote for 2 or vote for 1 or that. And one more question here.
So what are we doing to inform voters? I'm a poll worker. My husband's a poll worker. We have a few poll workers here. What are we doing to inform voters before the election about how they can and can't vote on the ticket?
We have that on the slate. It's going out on the slate.
I'm talking about television. I'm talking about Facebook. I'm talking about being more informative.
I think that we will see things like that on our Facebook. That's actually a great suggestion. We are handing these things out as we canvass starting today. We try to talk about it a lot. We're not going to buy any TV ads. We don't have the money for that. You might want to.
Why not engage 7 and 4 and ask them to form?
You know, I think that's a great idea. You should go talk to them. Really, seriously. We're strapped. If you want to do that, that's great. I think that's a great idea.
Because sitting up front as people come in, when it gets really, really, really busy, we don't have the time to go into a big, long, informative thing like I wish we could. And there aren't, we don't really know what our volunteers are going to be for poll workers until actually the day gets closer. So I don't know how to say it, but it would be great if we could designate a person to inform people, but mostly when they get there, they're in a hurry. They want to get in, they want to whip out that ID, and they want to go vote. But if they had it ingrained in their head ahead of time, it would really be helpful.
Thank you. I will just tell you, and I'll tell everybody here, we're doing the best we can with the resources we have to get that message out. I appreciate your concern. I think going to channel 7 and 4 would be a great idea. You're going to see it in our newspaper ads. You're going to see it in our online ads. You'll see it in a lot of places where we go. We need to move along here. Okay? She suggests League of Women Voters. Okay.
League of Women Voters.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. Waiting patiently in the wings is one of our very, very favorite people, and we're always happy when she walks in the door. She's going to talk to us about her fabulous campaign in District 103. Please, a warm Benzie welcome for Betsy Coffia.
I'm doing great. Good to see you. Hi, Benzie Dems. It's awesome to see you all. Thank you all for being here this morning. And thank you, Jim and Kyra and all of our Benzie Dem leadership for all of the incredible work that you are doing to empower and engage the vote this cycle. I can't thank the Benzie Dems enough. You all were a big part of why we won in 2022 with the financial support, the volunteering, getting the word out. You know, I have one little corner of Benzie County, but I always think of it, I'm here to represent the whole county, and you all have always had my back too. So I want to thank you for that. As you know, that accomplishment of flipping a seat from good old Jack O'Malley was key to getting the majority that has been able to deliver on everything from gun safety to climate action to expanding LGBTQ rights to getting rid of the 1931 abortion ban and advancing so many things that we care about. And there's a lot more work to do. It takes more than a year and a half to undo 40 years of Republican neglect, as it turns out. So I am excited to be here running for another term. Because you all, I think, know who I am and my platform, I won't give you sort of a stump speech, but I thought I would do more of an update of where things are on the campaign. Does that feel okay to folks? But yeah, but before I do that, I do have one thing that if you have the opportunity as you're out talking to voters in Benzie who may not know the work that I've been able to do because you helped put me there, and you've already taken out an ad on it, but I'm going to tell you one story of why having rural Democrats in the legislature advocating for Northern Michigan matters. I grew up in Kalkaska County. I grew up in a school district that had to close early in the 90s when I was in high school because it ran out of money. And you don't forget those things, right? That is a formative experience as a rural kid in Northern Michigan, right? The school aid fund, the state funding has never had equity for rural school districts for the massive school bus routes that we have to drive to get our kids to the classroom. So in Kalkaska in the 90s, when they reopened the school in the fall, they had to cut something to keep the doors open to make payroll. And what they cut was busing. They cut busing, they had to, in a 400 square mile school district. And that left all of those kids and families without reliable transportation, public transportation to get them to school, and it had real impacts. So, you know, fast forward, I'm a brand new freshman from Northern Michigan, a rural Democrat coming into a caucus that frankly, most of the Democrats are from downstate. They're from suburban and urban districts. And my point here is it's important to have that rural Democrat at the table, because what I did was I said, look, Benzie Central has a multiple square mile bus route. So does TCAPS. And we have never addressed the need for equity in bus funding. That is wrong. Rural school kids deserve for us to be investing in them just as much as a child from anywhere in the state. And so my very first standalone policy bill was a per pupil per mile equity formula for rural school districts to have more money. And what that means is instead of spending 10 to 15% of their general fund budget on just busing, that's all that money can then go into the classroom for art, for music, for mental health, right? For college prep. So not only was that my first standalone bill, in my first 6 months on the job, we got it in the state budget, and it's in there now, over $125 million additional dollars to invest in rural school districts. That's why it matters. So on my Facebook page, I actually just did a Facebook Live, and I'm doing them every day, and I'm calling it 49 days for why it matters, that we won the 103 and we keep it. And I have that story. So if you want to go back, it's on my Facebook page. You can listen to it. You can make a couple notes. Please tell that story. Tell that story to people why it matters. Tell that story to people in the middle who maybe abortion and guns aren't their thing, maybe climate's not their thing, but something that's tangible, because that directly benefits the students, the families of Benzie Central and Kalkaska. I got such nice notes from people in Posen and McBain, right? Forest area. They knew about this. It made a difference. And if I do nothing else in the rest of my political career, knowing that I got to do that will always just mean the world to me. But I want to do a lot more about it. So really, really quickly, you know, from the campaign side, it's coming hot and heavy, guys. This is a swing seat. This is not only a swing seat, a true 50-50 swing seat. It is the key to the majority for both sides. And you're probably noticing that we're getting hammered with attack mail and ads and things like that. That's because this seat is so critical to both sides. You know, the DeVos family maxed out. They're spending big money. The Koch brothers, some of the worst corporate polluters in the country, they are as well. This is going to be a dogfight, just like it was in 2022, and it could come down just as it did in 2022 to a few hundred votes. We are fighting back with your help and support. I am not only one of but the top fundraiser in the entire Democratic caucus. We are fighting fire with fire. So I want to thank you for that. And unlike my opponent, Lisa Trombley, I'm not backed by corporate PAC money. My funding comes from people just like you and from labor and from environmental groups and reproductive freedom. I know who I work for. It's the people of Michigan and the values that we hold dear. But we are on TV. Hopefully you've seen my ad. And if you haven't, you will soon. We've got a pretty tough one against my opponent as well. Our mail program just started this past week. You're going to start seeing a lot of that. And again, every dollar you've given, that's exactly where that's going, right? My incredibly hardworking team, Courtney and Maddie, they are people rooted in this community. I hired people from our community and they've been working their hearts out. We are on pace to hit the same number of doors we did in 2022, which has helped us win as long as we keep getting the volunteers. So if you're willing to knock, I need you. We need you now. We have 45 days to go. And people start voting this weekend. But we have knocked over 23,000 doors already. And we are also doing the auto dialer. We're doing the phone banking every Thursday morning from 10 to 12. It's a good time. Hop on Zoom with us. You can sign up on Mobilize. But that is a big way that we're actually engaging with voters who they're rural enough that we're not going to be able to necessarily get to their door or get to their door again. So that phone contact is a big reason we won in 2022. We made 60,000 calls to voters in 2022, and we are on pace to do that. But again, it only works if we all show up. So please sign up for a phone bank shift if you can. Please sign up to knock. Let me think what else. I think some things that I just want to note that are interesting and different about this race compared to last time. Last time, Jack was a known quantity. Everybody knew Jack O'Malley. That was part of why it was such a big deal to beat him. The only race to beat an incumbent and a TV anchor at that. This year's opponent is different. She's kind of kept a little bit of a low profile. Had anybody ever heard of Lisa Trombley before this cycle? Same. But here are a couple things. So she's sort of doing this interesting thing, and I'm a strategist, so I look at this, I'm like, okay, what's going on here? She's keeping a low profile on purpose because her background is she worked her whole career in DC as a military contractor for not Northrop Grumman, what's the other big one? Lockheed Martin. You're working in DC for Lockheed Martin as a military contractor. So whatever you want to make of that. Just retired here to Old Mission a few years ago. She's the former chair of the Republican Party in Grand Traverse County. And while she was chair, they actively opposed Proposal 3. They actively fought to keep the 1931 abortion ban on the books. So I can see why she's keeping a really low profile and doesn't want people to know that. Could you help me let people know that?
Sure.
She fought to keep a law in the books that would imprison women for accessing abortion care. That is extreme and dangerous, and we cannot have it. She also is keeping a low profile in lots of other ways, and she's just allowing these outside groups to do the spending and the attacks for her. But again, we have clean air and water to protect, and her biggest funders, hundreds of thousands of dollars, are the Koch brothers, who are the worst corporate polluters in the country. I think the voters deserve to know that, don't you? All right, so I need you to tell people. We have an ad that's running that is letting people know about that, as well as her abortion record, but there is nothing like that in-person conversation. This is not being mean or unkind. It is giving the facts and the contrast, right? And then finally, as a former public school classroom employee, I was a special ed assistant for TCAPS for many years. I take personal offense to this. She is fully backed by the DeVos family, who are one of the worst anti-public education right-wing billionaire groups there is out there, and they are spending hundreds of thousands on her behalf. So I think that the voters also deserve to know that. Those are the contrasts, those are the stakes, and again, this race is just in everybody's crosshairs because the road to the majority for the Republicans and the Democrats runs right through the 103. So I think we're up for the fight. How about you? I'll just wrap it up by saying again, as a rural kid from Northern Michigan, it has meant the absolute world to me to get to go to Lansing and represent you and advocate for lived experience, knowing what it's like to grow up in Northern Michigan, an amazing part of the state that deserves representation and a voice that is going to throw down hard for every single person in this region. So that is my commitment to you in round 2. Let's get me there again, and I will keep working my tail off for Northern Michigan. Thank you, Benzie Dems.
Oh, Betsy.
Do we have any questions here? Would you like to ask Betsy a question, or maybe she answered them all? I don't know. Is there anything online? Yeah. Okay, great. All right. I think you aced it, girl.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
did.
so much, Jim. Please, everybody, sign up for a volunteership. Knock and call. We need you. We have 45 days to go, and it is time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Woo.
Don't talk to her. Talk to her. Don't talk to me. That's right over there. Okay, great. One more quick thing. Keith, you're still here? I thought it would be interesting to hear from someone who has gone out canvassing, first time in his life, this last 3 or 4 weeks, working for the Benzie Dems. Keith, you got to come up to the front table here and give people just a 2 or 3 minute dialogue about what it's been like and why you keep coming back to do more. Keith Schneider, say hello.
Hello. So just a quick background about me. I've been here 34 years, half my life, lived up in Benzonia. I founded the Michigan Land Use Institute in this county, which is now the Groundworks Center for Resilient Communities in Traverse City, one of the largest environmental groups, regional environmental groups in the country. Jim asked me a couple months ago, would you come in and help? And I said, yeah, I'll come in and help. And I've decided I'd like to put my time into canvassing. So I've been out there 4 times. I've done it once with Quinlan, once with Stewart, and twice with Mike Ross. And I can tell you it's fascinating. It's fascinating in a way, the people that you meet, the places that you go, the homes that you're invited in the front, the way that the conversations have gone. I've been really surprised by how many undecided voters there are. I think the Republicans, and they're trying to shift to the Democratic side, they're not quite ready to do that. I've had one confrontation with a MAGA person. All the MAGA folks that we're talking to, that I've talked to, have been very polite, in Benzie County. Nobody has been, ferociously objectionable except for this one guy, and we just walked away. I think the big piece for me is that I did this twice when Biden was still in the race and the enthusiasm was not there. Well, sort of hold your nose, I'm going to vote. But since Kamala has been in the race, a lot of enthusiasm. And why is that? We have in this race this year a transcendent candidate. She's amazing. She's a great speaker. She's beautiful. She talks the right, kinds of policies. She's fearless. She's courageous. She's well-spoken, and it makes a difference on the ground. So when we go to talk to people that are Democrats, and I can't remember what the percentage is between the Democrats and Republicans. Quite a lot of Democrats, even in Lake Ann. Quite a lot of Democrats. The enthusiasm. People want to talk about this. They're like, well, yeah, let's talk about this now. What does it mean? So I think that's the quick report.
All right.
Don't be scared. Do it. It's really fascinating.
Thank you, Keith. Okay, is there any other business or any other community announcements or anything else anybody want to say before we call it good? And a bunch of canvassers are going to go out the door, but before they do, we hope you'll grab some food and eat some food. Betsy, what you got?
Jim?
Oh, okay. Betsy wants to take a selfie of the, yeah, y'all come on, let's do it. Great. Nancy, go ahead. Just a second.
About the canvassing again. Now, what time do we just show up Wednesday and Saturday?
You can just show up Wednesdays at 3 p.m. and you can just show up Saturdays at 10. Although when there's events like this meeting, we moved it back to 11. Next week, just show up at 10 o'clock. Let us know if you're coming ahead of time if you can, but it's okay if you just show up. We will put you to work. We've got turfs. We got places for you to go. We got maps. We got lists of people, and we got bags and all of that. So It's actually a lot of fun. It really, really is. Okay, great. Anything else, boys and girls? Anything online? Did you do it yet?
There's somebody else. No, not yet.
Oh, I thought you did it.
But I need you in it.
Oh, you need me in it. Okay.
I
well,
just have a point of clarification. The forms we filled out to Canvas had time slots for 9, 12, and 3, and on Saturday, Sunday, and then you were saying Wednesday, Saturday, show up at 10.
Well,
confused.
there are two ways to get a board for this. One is through Mobilize, which you just worked at.
Okay, that's
which-
separate
which
from
you
what
did,
you were. Okay,
But you
fine.
will end up talking to Robbie and making a time.
Thank
And-
you. Okay.
But if you don't want to go through Mobilize, you really can just show up at 10 o'clock, okay? Or 3 o'clock on Wednesdays.
So Jim, I have a question. Marcia here.
Yes? Yes?
So there is some kind of canvassing on a Sunday. What is that?
If you sign up through Mobilize, you can do it that way. Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Or call Robbie. You can call Robbie. I think his number is on the chat. And if not, we can certainly get it to you. We're going to do a little feature on Robbie in a few days, and it'll have all of his contact information if you don't have it now. Okay? All right. Well, there's the national campaign that's pulling in everybody who signs up that way. And then there's what we've been doing over the years, and that's coming here too. So we've traditionally always done stuff at Wednesday at 3 and Saturday at 10. And that's the other way to do it. That's the way we're suggesting, unless you are getting those emails from Mobilize. Either one works.
Either way,
That's not everybody agrees with you.
either way, your canvassing activities will be very important, and they will go into the one campaign, even if you're one of the people that show up on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Okay.
Thank you.
All this. And are we including Betsy's info in the areas where it's relevant?
Yes. Yes, that's one of the nice things about the one campaign is that when you go to the door in that district, you can help out other candidates while you're there. That hasn't always been the case. This is a real smart step forward by the Democrats. Wouldn't you say, Bet? Yeah. Yeah, we like this. Okay.
All right. So if everybody's ready, I'm gonna go way up like this. So everybody just lean in. Pretend you like each other. Ready? Benzie Dems win.
All right, Benzie Dems win. Okay, having all that, the meeting is adjourned. Get some food, get some more coffee, talk to your friends, have a good time. Thank you all for being here. Got this place rolling, man. I do. You do.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about your wife. Oh, thank you very much. Really. No, not fair. September 1st was our birthday, and September 14th was our 34th wedding. Good to see you. I haven't seen you since.
Boy, I sure wish we had volume.
Yeah, I don't know when it was, but I was at the party. Like we went to your house to watch the game. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I bet you was.
Yeah, talk to Robbie. Robbie, I'm sure he has been there making this one. I haven't heard that.
I tried to ask Steve if he can see it. I tried to ask Steve if he can see or hear the video. He didn't respond. Steve, Reverend Steve.
Yes.
It's Tom, can you see and hear this video that's playing?
No, I cannot. I'm seeing it, but I'm not hearing it.
Can you see it?
I can see it,
But you can't hear it?
but I can't hear it.
Okay.
I was just checking out the options at the top of the where it says power DVD to see if there was any way you could turn on the volume, but I couldn't find anything.